Hello and welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today is a super fun video, very festive video, that's why I've got my Christmas jumper on, and we're gonna shit on your favourite bands, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun little video. No, I'm gonna try and be nice. But we are doing my top 5 most disappointing albums of 2019. There's been a lot of great albums this year. I've done a top 20 list. I could have easily done a top 50 list. I'm tempted to do something like that and just quickly go through them, but let me know if that's something you want. But there has also been some very disappointing albums. And they're not necessarily bad, so the albums on this list they're not fucking awful. Like, you can listen to them and have a good time. That's what I'm trying to say, but they are disappointing because you hype yourself up for the latest release of your favourite band and then they turn out okay, and that's not what we want, and that's what the point of this list is. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That's this list. So should we get stuck in? Get some of that holiday cheer up and going, and let's start with number 5. So number 5 is one of my favourite bands of all time. Blind Guardian, and they did a side project, Blind Guardian's Twilight Orchestra, Legacy of the Darklands, and I was really excited for this. I was really intrigued about how it was going to end up. And sure, this is kind of like it's why it's so low down on the list, because it's not really metal. It's a side project from Blind Guardian, and they're doing a whole orchestra-themed album, so the album there's no drums in it, there's no guitar in it. So expectations should have been a lot lower for me, really, because the album itself is ambitious in scope, just doesn't resonate with me. The album as a whole is fine, it's great. If you like that kind of shit, you'd love this album, but I wanted something more in the lines of A Night in the Opera, something epic, something symphonic, something bombastic, and it just kind of falls flat, in my opinion. There's nothing that stands out with the album. Nothing stands out with the album. There's too many filler tracks. There's too many just interludes, and I hate interludes on songs and albums anyway, so the fact that it has so many kind of brings it down. And I was listening to this with a friend, and he fell asleep during it, so that just goes to show this album isn't for me. So it's probably like a 5 out of 5 for some people. For me, it was disappointing because I expected something different. But that's not a fault for the album. So that's why this one's so low, because it's not really a fault of the album, it's a fault of me for expecting something the album isn't. But yeah, that's my number 5 pick, Blind Guardian. Kind of disappointed. I wanted something metal, to be honest. But hey, they got a new album coming out next year, and Demons and Wizards sounds fucking awesome. The latest single's amazing, so very looking forward to that. Number 4, we have another one of my favourite bands, a really cool band, Sonata Arctica, with Talivio? How do you say it? Talvio? I don't know how you say it, but again, this album is fine. It's a good album. Listen to it through, you have some fun, but it's disappointing. Compared to the amazing discography, all their other albums, this one's kind of just fine. Nothing stands out. It's just a bit overly symphonic. If you know what I mean, his singing's a bit different on this one compared to the rest. There's a lack of power elements on this album, which drags it down a little bit. I prefer power to symphonic, if I'm being honest, and Sonata Arctica is a power metal band, so this is a bit disappointing. But that's not to go against the album. The album is still fine. You play it, it's fun. I wouldn't put it in the worst album list. No, it's a good album. It was disappointing. Compared to some of their other albums, it's a disappointing album. So it's number 4. Number 3, yeah, I don't know why I had high hopes for this one, but they didn't deliver. And that's Dragonforce with extreme power metal. I don't know why I had high hopes, because the last couple of albums have been kind of bad, so I shouldn't really have hoped for something good, but yeah, it's a disappointing album. It's Dragonforce. You know what to expect. It's nowhere near as amazing as the first couple of albums. I love Valley of the Damned, and I'll stand by that. Valley of the Damned is one of my favourite power metal kind of releases. I love Disciples of Babylon. I think that's a fucking fantastic song, and the title track. Album's amazing. Sonic Firestorm, really cool album, and so's Inhuman Rampage and some of those other first Dragonforce albums. But this one, not so much. It just really kind of boring, run-of-the-mill Dragonforce material. And again, I don't know why I expected high things from them at this point, but hey, I mean, that's why it's on the disappointing list, to be honest. Now we're coming into the top 2. My top 2 most disappointing metal albums of 2019. And I'm fully aware that these 2 bands have a massive, massive fan base, and it's why I haven't really talked about them in a lot of my videos. I've not really mentioned the albums, even though they're big releases. Now hold on to your fucking asses, because I'm about to trigger some people. Ooh, what's it gonna be? Number 2 is the... Oh, I'm getting ready to walk the plank on this one. Number 2 is Sabaton with The Great War. I think this is an awful album by Sabaton. I do not like it. If you've seen my Sabaton ranked, it's quite low. It's really low. I don't like this album. I don't think it's the worst album, but it's definitely not the best. It's no near as good as the last fucking couple of albums. Not even close. And if you want to say it is, go listen to those albums. Go listen to Careless Rex. Go listen to Last Stand. And then tell me that this is better than them, because it's fucking not. It's fucking bland as fuck. The songs are bland as hell. There's a couple of standout tracks. The Red Baron is super fun. Really fun song, that one. I reacted to it on the channel. Love it. Fields of Verdun is an amazing song. That's a great Sabaton song. But the rest, I don't like. I don't think they're that good. And to be honest, this album is not terrible. Again, like I said, it has some standout tracks. The album's fun to listen to, but it's not amazing. Like, some people are saying it's 10 out of 10. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, sure, opinions are opinions, but 10 out of 10? Best album of the year? Sabaton? No. No. If you were to say that for, like, Careless Rex and stuff, yeah, sure, that album's fantastic. Fucking Last Stand is fantastic. Prima Victoria, all these other amazing Sabaton albums. I'm a Sabaton fan. I've seen them live loads of times. But this album just doesn't cut it. Doesn't cut it. It's a fine album, and that's why it's number 2. I can hear all the Sabaton nerds smashing on their keyboards right now, but I'm a Sabaton nerd as well. I love all the fucking albums. You know, it pains me to put it here, which is why it's on the disappointing albums list. It pains me to put it here because I'm a Sabaton fan. I've seen them live multiple times. I love them. They're an amazing live band. But this album just isn't as good as the rest of their discography. It's simple as that, and that's why it's on the list. So, hate me all you want. It's my fucking opinion. Now, we got that debacle out the way. Time for a whole new one. This fan base might be even bigger and more vocal than Sabaton's fans, and it's an album I haven't really talked about aside from when I did a ranking of them and had it really fucking low, which might piss people off, but here we fucking go. Number 1, my most disappointing album of 2019 is Rammstein, with the self-titled album. This album is bland. It's boring. I don't like... There's a couple of standout tracks, like The Great War. There's Radio, Deutschland, Puppet. So yeah, there's a couple of standout tracks, but the rest of them are filler. The rest of the tracks on this album are filler. The best song, in my opinion, is Puppet. I think that's a really interesting, unique kind of song. And he goes really aggressive. In the middle, it's like, like, amazing. The middle section where Till singing is amazing. Now, again, like Sabaton, I love Rammstein. I love all their albums. This is the worst. This and Rosenrot are the worst, I think. Which, you know, compare this to Liebesfralda, the one that came before. That has a lot of better. It has a lot more songs, a lot more substance to it compared to this album. This album is kind of fluff and filler aside from Deutschland and Radio and stuff. And even Radio is kind of like, it's a bit fun. It's a bit fun, but it's not Feuerfrei. It's not Book Dick. It's not Itchville. It's not Engel. There's no... You know what I mean? It just lacks. I think it lacks, and I expected something different. I expected something epic from Rammstein, because it's a big return, couple of years since the last one, and then they come out with this, and it's just kind of like, I tell you what, Till Lindeman's side project, Lindemann, F&M, is a fantastic release, and if you were disappointed like me with Rammstein's new album, go listen to the side project, because that album has a lot better songs on, in my opinion. There's a lot more fun songs on Lindemann than there is on this release. So yeah, that's my number one most disappointing album of 2019. So that was a fun one. Hopefully you didn't get too triggered, and if you did, then, I don't know, go drink some milk. Ho, ho, ho! So that was a fun video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you didn't, then, I mean, I don't really care. But let me know in the comments what your most disappointing albums are of 2019. Tell me in the comments any of the albums I put on my top 5 disappointing list. Tell me why you think they are better than I think they are. Tell me why they don't deserve to be on this list. Because I want to see constructive arguments. I also want to see people just being like, fucking gay! But really, constructive arguments are, are more fun. Because if you tell me some things that I didn't know about the songs, I might find a new joy in the songs. But again, I don't hate any of these. I don't hate any of these albums. They're all fun. They're just disappointing. So yeah, hopefully you had a good time. Let me know your most disappointing in the comments below. And we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.